Welcome back. Before we start, I just want to give a loud shout out to Liberty, without whom this would not be possible. I also want to remind you about the Tenfold Education app that you need to download. Or alternatively, you can follow us on YouTube at Mindset Learn. Let's pick up where we left off with forms of ownership. Now, I told you in the beginning that forms of ownership, you do not need to expect an essay from this section, but there are very easy ways of obtaining marks. So, the success and failure of a sole trader, a partnership, and a private company is frequently asked in terms of the 5 criteria in those exam guidelines. Now, I know you don't have those exam guidelines close at hand, so I was very kind and actually wrote them down for you. It's in terms of taxation, management, capital, division of profits, legislation or legal requirements. This question was asked in the prelims, and you can expect it to be asked again. It's very sad. I'm very sad to report, while in the prelims that I marked, most of my learners really struggled with this question because they didn't realize how to study or to prepare for it properly, which is something I will have to fix next time. So, presentation. Now, presentation is a new chapter. This is where you are either preparing to present something, and your factors of preparing are important, as well as the factors while you are presenting. Those are very, very, very popular, and I believe in the prelims they asked the ones of preparing. They ask factors when preparing a presentation, if memory serves me correctly. So perhaps they'll ask this one in the final, who knows? They also they love asking the handing of questions, of feedback in, I think the note specifically says, in a non-aggressive manner. They specifically put that in because handling feedback is not as easy as you think it is. Especially if you've put your heart and soul into a presentation and now you have to deal with this negative criticism and complicated questions and people opposing your views. And then areas of improvement. That's now areas of how to improve your own presentation. Sometimes that question will be linked with the feedback you got. And then you need to realize, okay, I need to maybe speak a little louder in the next one, or depends on what crit they gave. But there are areas of improvement listed in your notes, which you can study as well. Data response. So visual aids and their impacts, remember now, impacts is advantages and disadvantages. If that is the only thing you learned today, then I have achieved something and I am happy, because that means you won't make that mistake and throw away, 8 marks because you didn't know what a word means. There are 6 visual aids. You have your PowerPoint or your data projector, your overhead projector or transparencies, handouts, flip charts, interactive whiteboards, posters, signs, banners, portable advertising stands, and the like. Now, I found it very interesting recently that people don't know what a flip chart is. And I know my drawing abilities are not fantastic, but generally speaking, it's like a huge exam pad, right? That's about that size, and the human standing next to it is about this size. Yes, there's the human standing next to it. All right, it is typically on some stand. There's a stand at the back. And then this pages can flip over. So let's draw another one. There's another page. And this one is typically rolled over. Let's say it's rolled over. You can literally flip that page to the back. That's a flip chart. And In case you have never seen one, I hope that explanation is giving you a bit more of an idea of what a flip chart actually is. Another popular question is multimedia aspects that must be considered when designing a multimedia presentation. But there's something else I want to highlight to you. And that is the difference between an overhead projector and a data projector. This one is your data projector. All right? And a data projector and an overhead projector is not the same thing. An overhead projector is the one you use transparencies with, the one that is sort of phased out of the school system, the one that is old-fashioned technology, but in some schools they are still used, and in some workplaces they are still used, and especially in the arts they still have a function there if you want to trace something. It's called an overhead projector because you can see this little hand reflects the image, that's a little mirror, overhead. It's over the image which is on this little surface. So that's just out of interest's sake. Moving along. Before we hit into business roles, I just want this information to sink in a little bit, and then we will continue in the next lab.